Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name's Jeffrey Azan, filling in this morning for Mama Elise Kelly here on Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM. Remember, you can tune into the Bridge 99 on the entire 99 FM band. That's 99.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, and 0.9. For those of you who want to see what's happening in studio, you can check out the live stream at thebridge99fm.com, or you can download the Bridge 99 FM app in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. The Bridge 99 FM, all one word. As we go through Untengle today, remember you can shoot us a message on our WhatsApp line 876-551-5782, or you can call into studio at 876-676-4996. Remember that WhatsApp line is 876-551-5782 and the studio line is 876-676-4996. We have an interesting show for you today, as we're going to be looking at some of the, what we'll call them, financial scandals taking place across Jamaica. And we're going to be talking with Lafane about what's happening with the royal family. This Prince Harry's documentary and book that has come out has certainly revealed a lot of what's happening on the, what we'd say, the northern side of the world and in that old monarch. And I'm sure we are going to have a very interesting conversation, and we want you to take part in it. Remember, this is not just a show, it's a conversation. So use up that WhatsApp line, use up the studio line, and make sure you're following the Bridge 99 FM on all our social medias, the Bridge 99 FM. Today on the ones and threes, I have with me Sir Gerusalem himself, playing some mixes for us, keeping us entertained. And with that, Sir Jerusalem,
tell me something I go on.
Jerusalem, I shell it on the ones and threes, but there is something that we definitely want to get into before we go to the commercial break, and it's really we want to open up this conversation. We want to untangle the trending thing. What's going on, this fraud in the financial institutions? As pretty much every Jamaican has heard, there's been a major issue brought to the light by 8-time Olympic gold medalist Usain Bolt, that he has lost not hundreds, not thousands, but millions due to large-scale fraud. The Jamaica Financial Services Commission, FSC, said in a statement that it has placed the firm Stocks and Securities Limited, more popularly known as SSL, in enhanced oversight while it conducts a probe into their operations. And, you know, we can go back and forth and deep dive into all of the elements around this, but it almost seems to be a trend in our society these days that the money in the financial institutions is no longer safe, it's not secure, it's not investor friendly, we're not getting interest back on it. And we really want to know from you, Bridge Nation, how do you feel about your money? Are you happy where it is? Are you hiding it under the mattress? Do you have it in the accounts? Are you investing it? Are you pumping it into your own business? Let us know what your thoughts are on the WhatsApp line 876-551-5782, or call into the studio at 876-676-4996. But while you put those thoughts online and send them our way, I'm going to invite one of our phenomenal producers here at the Bridge 99 FM, Miss Lafane Wigan, to give us some of her insights and thoughts on how does she feel about this, we'll call it the financial scandal trend.
Wow, no pressure, right?
No pressure at all.
Phenomenal. Okay, I'll try to work with it. Well, I think everybody is on edge right now, for want of a better word, about what has taken place.
No, I'm on the bridge.
Facts about what has taken place, because everybody's like, if this happened to Bolt, like, little old me, is my little coin safe and secure in these financial institutions? And I think what was frightening was the notion that he may not get back his money, and I'm like, say what now?
Yeah.
That's wild. And I don't know, whatever needs to be done would have to be done for me to get back my money. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I get that, you know, and of course, money heightens emotions. A lot of people tend to look at things that, how would you say it? some people describe money as freedom. Some people describe money as opportunity. I call money an enhancer. So whoever you are, the more money you get, the more it's going to enhance it. And of course, when you're missing money, it's going to enhance that feeling.
Definitely.
But you know, a thing that I think a lot of us tend to forget is that these institutions, when you're doing investments, right? And you are putting your money down in hopes for growth and return. An investment is just a formalized gamble.
It is, but not the person's employed to manage your money, gambling with your money.
I mean, technically, that's the role of a wealth advisor.
To rob you?
No, not to rob you.
That's what happened, basically.
Well, I mean, we're going to get into that a second, but I just want to kind of set the precedent.
I know it's a risk. I know everybody knows everything you do is a risk. Insurance is a risk.
There you go.
I
it's sort of a guarantee, you know, because if it's life insurance, it kind of guarantee you.
That you're going to die.
Yeah.
It's a necessary evil.
It's a necessary evil.
I mean, it is a risk. You're going it knowing that, you know, there are pros and cons, there are risks, but you don't expect your wealth advisor to be robbing you.
This is true. And this is sort of where the big question comes in, you know, who is monitoring? Who is protecting? Let's not even talk about my principle or what I've put down, but who is protecting, you know, that initial investment? Who's protecting my account? How do I get my updates? You know, I think that's another thing that I think we can point the finger back at ourselves. How often do we check our accounts? How often do we make sure that the money we've put down is still there or doing what it do? I mean, I'm a mechanical human being. Monday has a set thing, Tuesday has a set thing. I'm boring in that regard. But guess what? I can tell you when the bank has added $1 in interest and taken away 50 cents in tax.
Yeah, that's why I made an account go dormant with a bank that shall remain nameless.
Right,
Yeah.
correct.
Because I just kept seeing these deductions taking place and it couldn't be explained. And I'm just like, this don't make no sense.
Right. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's kind of wild though. You know, I was saying to a friend that you put your trust and your money into these institutions. You don't know these individuals from Adam, but they're saying, hey, listen, you can trust me with your money. I'm going to keep it safe and secure. It's going to grow. There's no guarantee that you're going to do what you say or this is going to happen as according to your predictions. Exactly. So it's one of those things. Unfortunately, for those of you who are not familiar, a lot of financial fraud that takes place is based on trends. So they predict that, you know, you kind of have to think with the mind of the criminal. They say, okay, it's trending this way. So if I make this little move now, by the time anybody is even supposed to realize that I've made this move, the trend is going to correct, you know, what I've done. Or said another way in you know, Jamaican vernacular, may I take from Peter for pay Paul. Right.
And so we are in this very unstable environment. But, you know, it raises another question. Okay, so I've taken my money and I've taken, we'll say that I've made the gamble.
Right.
To put my money in with these investment houses, these trusted experts, these individuals, because I can't walk around and tell anybody I'm a wealth advisor, you know.
And what guarantees or constitutes that someone is, you know, supposed to be a wealth advisor? Have they gone through some background checks or whatever, you know, the type of person that they are? So at what point do you say, okay, yes,
you are now
right?
So any wealth advisors out there, you know, shoot us a message. Let us know, what does it take to become a wealth advisor? What separates you from me giving my money to the common man on the street and say, yo, go buy 2 stocks for me, no? We'd love to get you weighing in on it. So, but what now that I've given my wealth advisor my money, we need to know, how does that money then get protected? You know, you brought up the idea of insurance, and we're really speaking about life insurance. But how do I insure my money? How do I know that my money is safe with these institutions? Yeah,
I think there's an organization, I think it's JDIC. They have this jingle, JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me. So I think up to $1 million is insured, but then $1 million
Jamaican dollars.
What happens to,
you know, so $1 million Jamaican dollars can't buy a car though.
I know.
So I mean, let's just, what is $1 million Jamaican dollars? It's
just wild, and I'm just like, okay, the same way the money was allegedly robbed,
right?
what's the procedure to recover it? Like, you can't just say, oh, oops, sorry.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Here what, folks, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to pick back up this conversation for a little and get back into the music. So don't go anywhere. You're tuned in to the Bridge 99 FM. This is Untengle, and I'm your host, Jeffrey Azan, filling in for Mama Elise. And we're back on Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM. Remember, folks, you can tune into the Bridge 99 FM on the entire 99 bandwidth, 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, and 0.9. You can also follow the live stream on thebridge99fm.com or download the app in the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. We're having a conversation around the financial scandals taking place, and we want your input. Please hit us up on that WhatsApp line, 876-551-5782, or you can call into studio and get on air with us at 876-676-4996. My name's Jeffrey Azan, filling in for Mama Elise, and we're untangle the thing.
Before we continue untangling the thing, Jeffrey, I just want to pause to make mention that Joe Mercer's funeral procession was leaving the Bob Marley Museum just minutes ago. The Thanksgiving service was held for the late Joseph Joe Mercer Marley, the firstborn of Stephen Marley and the grandson of reggae legend Bob Marley, who died suddenly last month. So we continue to send our condolences to his family, well-wishers, friends, the entire Marley fraternity. You know, it's really a sad situation.
No, it's really a sad one when, you know, we losing these young people so full of talent, so full of potential.
Definitely.
You know, it's one of we talk about the global pandemic with the virus, but it seems to be this kind of under the quiet pandemic that's taking place with a loss of a lot of young lives these days.
Definitely.
And our thoughts and prayers go out to the Marley family as they bear the weight of this day.
Definitely.
For sure. I almost want to take a moment to say it's like I feel awkward jumping back into talking about the situation.
Yeah.
But it is because, you know, the mission is to untangle the thing.
Definitely.
We really need to have that conversation. So when we went off, we're talking about the issue with the financial institutions, with the monies that people are investing in these financial institutions. Every now and again, we're hearing about somebody skimming off at the top, millions being missing from this account, or in this particular case, which was brought to the headlines, using a message from Bolt. I don't know if Bolt is the person who called FSC and reported it, but it was definitely brought to the forefront by Bolt. Millions of US dollars, close to billions of Jamaican dollars are just unaccounted for. And in a country where, you know, we're struggling in our own debt and we're struggling to find money for this and find money for that, to know that billions of dollars can just disappear.
And apparently it must have been something that has been going on for a while, you know, because, you know, you probably take a little $10,000 here, a little $50,000 there, but any sensible person after a while will recognize that something isn't right, you know, where the mat's not matching.
Mat's not matching.
Yeah, it's really sad. And then we were talking about the fact that a lot of the instances of fraud now currently are women. Let's go there. Let's go there.
You know, it's something. I mean, them said the man a chop, so I don't know. Is this the woman's response to the chopping?
I don't know what to say as a woman. I feel away. And even recently, there was reportedly an NCB employee charged with multiple counts of fraud. She was charged in the presence of her attorney yesterday, January 16th. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Is it that they're just taking the fall? They're the ones, you know, placed as a scapegoat, a lamb to the slaughter?
That is a serious question. That's a serious question because guess what, guys? I don't know about you, but I never go a bank yet and nothing works smooth. I need 22 signatures, 32 references. I need a JP, a attorney, a pastor. My mother need to prove she gave birth to me, and the list of requirements goes on and on.
Exactly.
So I getting, you know, the stories that we're getting is that once my money go in the bank, all reins are just thrown off. The money just floats now.
Yeah.
No, people have to sign off on it, and there has to be, just like in all of majority of us have some experience with working, and we all know there's a supervisor that signs off, then a manager that signs off, and then a director that, and and the financial institutions are supposed to be held to so much higher of a standard.
Exactly.
So I don't believe it's not one person thing. I think, these are some people who, they may be taking the fall. They may just have been the bad crook. So they're the ones who got caught with evidence.
Right. Running out with a bag out of the bank heist.
There you go. And it's just that one. But it definitely leaves us to wonder, what's taking place. And the thing is, you really examine it. A lot of these people, it's not that they have low positions. Nope. It's not the janitor you hear thieving.
I think that's the wild part for me. It's these persons that you've entrusted to manage your money who are supposed to be getting, a decent enough salary.
Substantial income.
They have the position, they have, a certain leverage. So.
We're not saying things are, crystal clear and smooth for everybody, but I mean, step by step, you're supposed to be able to make it at least from that position. Right. But I mean, it does raise a question: why is it always a woman that is brought to the forefront?
Well, not always, but in the last, recently. Yes. Let's not.
We can't forget Bernie Madoff. Yeah. He, as one person said, it was put this way: if you want to meet humans' creativity, look at what Michelangelo did with 7 colors. Look what Beethoven did with 7 notes, and look what Bernie Madoff did with 10 numbers.
Oh dear. That's a good one. Yeah, but being Jamaicans, we always take a comedic spin to things, and I saw this I don't know, it's a picture that I shared with you that somebody posted on Twitter, and it had Dunn's check with 3 women. I mean, not the women who were caught allegedly, right. But it said Dunn's check, not getting caught is the only rule, and the person captioned, 3 daring bank employees risk everything when they plan an audacious heist from 3 separate banks with ambition as their only weapon. Can these unlikely criminals pull off the biggest caper in Jamaican history? #make this movie. #take serious things. #make laugh. I mean,
I don't watch that movie still.
Yeah, it's funny on one hand, and on one hand it's not so funny, because yes, people are, there's this mass outcry that Bolt has done so much for the country.
Oh, for sure.
He worked hard. It's not like, oh my goodness, he had a rich uncle or this big inheritance. He worked hard, very hard.
And not just that, Bolt, I'm not sure how many people know this, but it was one of the most admirable things I've ever heard. Bolt having his international fame and international credibility, Bolt as a part of his marketing contract when he's doing ads and endorsement deals for others, the ads either have to be shot in Jamaica and they have to use Jamaican talent. I mean, if you're talking about somebody sewing into Jamaica, like, even if you're just going TFT from everybody else.
I know, right? That's what people been saying. I mean, everybody's so heartbroken. I mean, not that, you don't feel it when it happens to anybody else. Yes, but for this individual who is so iconic and has done so much for our country and so selfless, it's
and he's a decent person.
He is.
Guys, if you've ever had the privilege of meeting Bolt, let me tell you firsthand, he's a decent human being. If there's anybody who should have them nose up in the air, and I said, I have done it, is Bolt, and he is one of the realest people you'll meet in the streets in Jamaica.
He is.
A lot of respect to the man. I'm sorry for all that he has endured in this particular situation. And, it really raises a question, because then it comes down to the topic of athletes and revenue. Because a lot of athletes, I mean, Bolt had an unusually long career.
Indeed.
But a lot of athletes depend on that, we'll say 5 to maybe 15-year period to pay for everything.
That's it.
To pay back whatever debt was incurred in that period, and to set aside for future and investment and retirement and so forth. And, in the last couple of years, Bolt has started a family and gotten married. I think it's 3 kids so far. Kids. I mean, that's their college tuition, that's their future opportunities, that's, you know, and let's face it, Bolt built his career as a sprinter. He's not getting back in the field right now to go sprinting. You know, maybe he may make a couple of celebrity appearances, but
endorsements, you know, and those kind of things, but
he's not getting back in the field. So really, you never just rob him of what he has now, but you robbed him of what he could potentially have in the future for as well.
Family.
So he's
for him
back.
Only.
He's back to that whiteboard. Like, where do I go from here? What's the plan going forward? And we're using Bolt as the example, but this applies to many of us
because he wasn't the only one. I mean, he was one of 10 persons. The report says that.
Well, that's what the report says. But I'm almost sure one of the things that tends to happen in institutions like this is the assets get frozen. Mm-hmm. So even if your account wasn't hit, your account is now frozen until proven otherwise. Yep. And that becomes a whole other element. And guys, this can happen to anybody.
It definitely can. So maybe you should go back to the olden days. You put your money under your mattress. Cause I mean, I remember watching this movie. I think it was Big Mama, and they were, when she died, they were searching for the money. You know, her brother wasn't talking. I don't know why he wasn't talking. I don't remember. Right. It's been a long time.
Right.
So they were searching for the money. I think there was a fire, and then I don't remember how they found, but when they lifted the mattress, all the money was there, and there's a ton of money. Yeah, so maybe take a page out of Big Mama's book.
I mean, I'm not against it. My personal advice to our listeners out there is diversify. Guys, number one rule of investment, never invest what you can't afford to lose. That's rule number one.
Was it his only investment though?
I don't know if it was his only, but it's definitely sounding like it was a bulk.
Right.
You know, I'm hoping some of the others come out to play. I mean, Bolt's a creative guy. Bolt produce music, videos. I'm almost sure he has alcohol out there.
Everything.
So he's a serial entrepreneur, and he's using his working capital wisely. But definitely making it sound like this was a big chunk of it. So guys, remember to diversify. You never know what may happen in one institute. It may be the crookedness of a single individual. It may be malpractice of another. It may be a total system failure. All of these are options, but diversify. It's the number one rule in investment. You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket, and the list goes on and on. But guys, we want to know what you think.
Yeah.
Bridge Nation, hit us up. Get us on that WhatsApp line, 876-551-5782, or you can call in at 876-676-4996. What are your thoughts? Do you think that this is something that we as a nation need to be wary of? Is it that we cannot trust our financial institutions anymore? Is it that, you know, as the Fane said, that we need to go back to cash and putting it under the mattress?
They won't. We won't.
I mean,
maybe me, but not everybody. Yeah.
All right, folks, you heard it here on the bridge. You know, we are Untengle the Thing. We have some other stuff to talk about later. We're going to be looking at all of this new scandalous information coming out from the Prince Harry documentary and book. But until then, we're going to get into some music on the ones and threes with Sir Jerusalem. And we're going to kick back for a little bit. Remember, you're listening to Untengle here on the Bridge 99 FM. My name's Jeffrey Azan. Joining me so far has been the lovely Lafane Wigan, and on the ones and threes is Sir
I don't have
Jerusalem.
a radio name yet.
We're going to come up with a radio name for it. That's it. Also, after you give us your financial suggestions, what's going on with the financial scandal, let us know. What's Miss Lafane Wigan's radio name? Let us know on the bridge lines. Remember, 876-551-5782. And we jump into the music. And we're back on Untangled. My name's Jeffrey Azan, filling in for Mama Elise Kelly. Remember, you're tuned into the Bridge 99 FM, covering the entire 99 bandwidth, 99.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, and 0.9. And you can watch our live stream at thebridge99fm.com. bridge99fm.com or download the Bridge 99 FM app in the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Just head on in and search for the Bridge 99 FM, all one word. And remember, this is not just entertainment, but it's a conversation. So you can hit us up on the Bridge WhatsApp line, 876-551-5782, or call into the studio line at 876-676-4996. My name's Jeffrey Azan, and joining me in studio, as I already told you, is the phenomenal producer here at the Bridge, Miss LaFane Wiggin. And we asked the Bridge Nation for a name for her, and they said, Aunty Laf, but I was corrected. You have different kind of aunties. When you go to those family dinners, you have those different aunties. I was told it's supposed to be Rich Aunty Laf.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
Come on through, Rich Aunty Laf.
All right. I'm claiming it in Jesus' name.
Claim it in Jesus' name. And it is quite the title as we jump into the next thing that we're going to untangle. Right?
That's right. Let's hear it.
For our listeners out there who are not aware, there is a new Netflix docuseries called Harry and Meghan, released late last year, and it features the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. That word is a troublesome word, can't get you in trouble. Duchess of Sussex lifted the curtain on royal life behind the scenes, touching on everything from the early days of their relationship to the intense media scrutiny surrounding their lives. They shared a number of stories which many of us knew and many which we did not. Now, in January of 2023, aka this month, this year, Prince Harry has launched a series of incendiary accusations against members of his family in his new memoir, which reveals a number of private confrontations between him and other senior royals and details his split from the family. CNN had gotten a copy of the book, and it's called Spare, in reference to the fact that the Duke of Sussex's role in the monarchy was as the spare heir. So the man wasn't even in line. He was the extra. He was the not spoken about tire on the back of the car.
Yeah. If anything should ever happen, maybe we can consider you for the throne.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Boy, that's a harsh way to look at it. But Rich Aunty Laf. Rich Aunty Laf. How do you feel about this? I mean, I've had the privilege of writing my own biography. For those of you who have not bought it yet, please go and purchase. Shameless plug. Yes. Joshua's Journey, available on Amazon and bookstores across Jamaica.
That's right.
But coming to the point, I've written my biography, and the first thing everybody said is that you're too young to write a biography. Typically, people wait until everybody in the biography dead, or you're too old for them to do anything about it. Because, when you're looking at family life, there's a lot of dirt.
There is.
Guys.
But there's no family without dirt.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We all have to wash and hang the laundry at some point.
That's right.
And when I wrote mine and I was reflecting on a number of the stories, I went back and I was looking at, these stories may paint some people in a bad light. And even though the stories themselves are my truth, they're what I understood from my perspective, it doesn't change the fact that it may make someone uncomfortable. So I went and I got approval. I mean, down to my ex-girlfriend who I spoke about in the book, who we haven't been together for almost 10 years. I knew I was going to write about her, so I sent her chapter and I said, hey, I'm going to be putting this out there. I respect you. I admire you. I would hate to put you in a bad light. Are you comfortable with this? And she was a little reluctant because she in herself, she's a very private person. And she said, you know what? I know your character. I know what you're about. I know you're trying to make a good message here. Go forth. So I went and got approval, but I can't imagine Prince Harry getting the approval for some of the stories.
He got approval.
Do you think?
I mean, maybe or he may not, but I think over the years, the royal family has been shrouded in so much controversy from Princess Diana's time to now. So I think that follows them through, and I think they would have wanted to keep certain things because, it's the royal family. We don't want the public to know that we're having problems. We want to paint this picture of perfection, like everything is okay within the family, but it isn't. So it's really sad that it took him separating himself from the family to kind of bring certain things to the fore to say, you know, look, these things are happening. I'm not comfortable with it. It's my truth. I'm going to speak out about it. And persons are saying he may have held back certain things and they're waiting for part 2 of the book and all of that. But based on the little that I got, I mean, I don't have a copy of the book yet. So I don't know. Yeah, but it's quite interesting.
Well, let me ask this then, right? And Bridge Nation, I want to know your thoughts. Remember, you can WhatsApp us your feedback. 876-551-5782. When you make a plug like this, when you make a move like this, is this sensationalism? You know, because as far as I'm made to understand, the royal family, they have a yearly stipend. We'll call it a stipend. Because it's not really a paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, you have to work to get a paycheck.
Put it mildly, but yes,
Right.
we'll work with it.
So they get a yearly stipend, and to my understanding, from he was cut from the royal family or took his leave of the royal family, that disappeared. So is it now that, okay, I have a celebrity status, let me write a sensational book,
a memoir,
generate some revenue and call it a day? Or is this supposed to be a tell-all? You know, guys, I'm not associated with them anymore. Let me tell you what really happened
went
there.
down.
You know, what are your thoughts?
For me, this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it just the same. I think it's too much. Like, we know that there's been problems, but it's just like this constant desire to dish out the dirt. You know, there was the interview with Oprah, there was the Netflix docuseries, and now the books. I'm like, okay, when does it end, kind of vibe, you know? So, but that's my opinion, because I'm like, okay, I'm not all about the gossip and whatever, because we knew that they've been having problems from Diana was alive. So it's not like, you know, it's so secret, or that, you know, persons don't know that the royal family has problems. They ain't so royal. But I just think that, okay, is it, as you said, just sensationalism? Is just another strategy to make some money or to keep myself afloat? Or is it, okay, this is a part of my therapy, this is how I'm getting through my healing, because I've now been ostracized, so to speak. I don't have the benefits and privileges that I once had, and my family is treating me like an outcast, basically. So I don't know. It on one hand, it feels like, oh my goodness, it's so saturating it so much. But then on the other hand, you know, it's like, okay, there's a method to the madness, I guess.
I mean, there's a lot that can be said about that. Anybody in Jamaica who has a situation of a estranged family, you don't need to be royal to have an estranged family situation.
In the black community, it's the standard. Unfortunate.
I call it a common tragedy, and it's something that in my work I'm actively trying to see how can I help fix it.
Right.
But coming to that, I am of the opinion, and I've seen it over and over again, is that, you know, you need to tell the story if you're going to move forward.
Right.
I know for me, being on stage and sharing my story has been a huge form of therapy.
Right.
There's a book written by Paulo Coelho, who he's the author of the Alchemist, and he wrote another book called The Zahir. And in The Zahir, they focus on just that, you know, the need to tell the stories, even though the stories may hurt, because when you retell a story several times, what ends up happening is you take away the power from the story, and you emphasize the lesson of the story.
I've read that.
So I'm wondering if, as you said, is this a matter of therapy? Right? Because, I mean, when Dan died, my dad took off from work. Like, as far as he was concerned, one of the greatest people of the modern era, you know, had passed. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way. Is it a plug for money? Is it a matter of therapy? I don't have nothing else to do.
I mean, I think, and it's interesting because it's alleged or reported that he left out revelations about his family in his memoir, saying that he did not want, quote, the world to know because I don't think they would ever forgive me, end quote. But He's said a lot, like, so if you held back some, but you put all of this out there, I'm sure they're already in a place where, why would you even put this out there? You know, he was
Right.
talking about the fight that he allegedly had with his brother, you know, because his brother was saying something not nice about his wife. And then there was another part where his wife apparently said, Kate had baby brain, and
Oh boy.
yeah, Kate was like, we're not that close for you to be making, you know, assertions about my hormones and all that. I'm just like, wow, this seems a lot like rich people problems, but hey.
I mean, it just sounds like family problems.
It does.
Me
It
and my brother
does.
fight.
It
and,
does.
And
I think because they're royal, people think that, oh my goodness, everything is perfect, and that they're not human beings
Right.
behind all of that fluff, you know, all of the pomp and pageantry. They're human, regular people.
And you know, that's something that I always try to encourage, and it's something that is a takeaway from this, is that, you know, guys, we all need to look past the titles. We need to look past titles, and not just titles of those who are above us, but sometimes we need to remember to look past the titles and the uniforms of those who we would look into society and say are beneath us. Something I say all the time, a lot of people go to the restaurant and don't realize the waiter is human.
That's it.
You know, you watch how they deal with waiters or serve
hate
staff or even just customer representatives. You see the title, you see the job, you see the position, but you never see the person.
The person.
And it's something that, you know, I think we can all take away from it. And if you look at the royals situation that way, it just makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is his story, but it's not like, oh my God, did this really happen in the royal family? Right?
Yeah, you know. So, Bridge Nation, we want to know your thoughts on it. Shoot us a message on our WhatsApp line, 876-551-5782, or call into studio at 876-676-4996. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be wrapping up this conversation about the royals and then jump into some music. So,
Definitely.
and we're back on Untengle here, and we're having a hearty discussion about this whole set of scandals surrounding the royals, the British royal family, following the release of Prince Harry's book, Spare. And it, you know, in the break, we were having a conversation around this idea of who owns the story, who, you know, the magazines, the media houses, the newspapers, the YouTubers, the podcasters, they've all taken advantage of the story of the royals.
Definitely.
I mean, Netflix.
Listen.
You know, what is it? The Crown? So everybody
Everything.
has taken advantage of the story. Why shouldn't he own his story?
Definitely. And he's been roasted, I think, from the moment he decided, and probably even before, because he even outlines in the book, you know, some of his troubles as a teenager, dabbling with hard drugs and all of that, you know. So it's like from then till now, he's always been on that journey of being roasted like the troubled child, the black sheep of the family, sort of, you know, like his mother. So it's like, okay, you've been roasting me all this time, saying what you want to say, how you want to say it, when you want to say it, why you want to say it. So no, I'm going to tell my story how I want to. I'm going to control the narrative. So
No, and it's important because even in controlling how you tell the narrative, it also tells who makes the money.
that's it.
Because, hey, if you're that YouTuber and you did a great coverage and you got the views and the subscribers from said coverage, you're going to get paid
You're
for it.
going to get paid.
So you're
gonna
gonna
make bank.
Why shouldn't I, as the person who actually owns the story, why shouldn't I, you know, make some sort of living off of my story? I know you were saying as well that people are suspecting that this is really a part one of a part
Right.
two, or maybe even a trilogy
Right.
of
Why
stories
not?
to come.
Matrix.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that once you've kind of told the family story that there really isn't anything else to say, or?
Well, who knows? Maybe a lot has happened that he's not really gotten the chance or the time to really deal with or come to terms with. So maybe he'll tell another side, maybe, you know, what transpired after he decided to get married to Meghan and all of that. I mean, it's a story.
Yeah.
You can make it as extravagant or elaborate as you want it to. So we don't know. We've not lived his life. We've only had an outside look based on what we've read in the tabloids or whatever has been presented to us. So if he sees the need to, hey, make a 3-part series, then why not?
And I also look on it this way, in the fact that I think we can all see ourselves in Harry. I find him really relatable in that sense.
Definitely.
You're born and you come into this world and your parents are just like, oh, I want the best for you and you're going to be the most well-behaved child. And, I think about, what would I call it? Fantasies of perfection.
Right.
I mean, I was in 5th form at high school and I remember somebody getting their first detention in 5th form, and it was this catastrophic thing for them. Oh my gosh, how am I? And I'm gonna have to tell. Meanwhile, I had detention from the first day of high school.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I mean, I had enough detention.
Setting the record.
Listen, I had detention to the point where it became my extracurricular activity.
Oh my Lord! So you found fun in it.
Listen, I knew the caretakers at the school better than the teachers when they were finished with me. So I mean, for me, I see that so clearly in Harry. You're experiencing things and you're trying things, and somewhat of a rebel, somewhat of a leader. You're trying to find your own rhythm and
find that
by
balance.
And then people take you to task for it. How dare you do this and how dare you do that? And then in such a family like that, where the camera's always on and it's on literally for decorum.
That's it.
Like, if we really dial it back, it's not that the royal family, at least in my lifetime, has done anything. They've literally just existed.
Facts.
And their existence is marked by a level of decorum. And so we are now taking this guy to task, and the media outlets and everybody's taking him to task because he's not fitting decorum.
Right.
That's like, your grandmother or your grandfather from country tell you must be a farmer, or you must be a this, or you must be a that.
Right. You're not allowed to choose. How dare you want something different than, from birth, what has been ascribed to you? As I say, I see a lot of relatability in it, and I'm sure that there are many Jamaicans and many of our listeners and Bridge Nation out there who consider relatability, where maybe growing up you heard you needed to be a doctor, you needed to be an engineer, and any variation from the path became a big issue. And, it just goes to show that really just work with the tools that you have. And that's what it's about. He knows he has fame, credibility, and some sort of popularity, and now he's using it to make a living for himself, to make waves, to involve it. And that's fair. I think that's fair. I think as humans, we should be allowed to be who we feel like, the path of life is taking us down. Like, I don't, and I think it's that expectation that, whether intentionally or unintentionally, society places on us that, oh my goodness, you're born into this family, or your family has riches, or so this is what you should do. You don't have a choice. How dare you want to do something different? So, and I think that's unfair. So I tell myself, listen, I'm lowering my expectations of others and increasing my expectation of myself. So yeah,
Bridge Nation, I hope to write that one down, because I take that one. Like, I have to change the chat a little bit, because that one the real. Let's clean it up. Bridge Nation, remember, lower your expectations of others and increase the expectations of yourself.
Yeah, I need to probably copyright that.
I'm
going to go up to
we need it on a shirt or something. Because remember, she is rich, Aunty Laf. Bridge Nation, with that, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, our last music segment as we close out Untengle. Don't go anywhere as we pay these bills. And Bridge Nation, that's it for Untengle with Jeffrey Azan, not Mama Kelly. I am filling in for Mama Elise today, and it has been my pleasure taking you through the last 3 hours of Untengle. Remember, I was joined by rich Aunty Laf. She's shaking her head. I tell her she needs to claim it. And on the 1s and 3s was Jerusalem, building a phenomenal vibe in the studio today. I wish you guys could see what was happening in the engineering room earlier. It was short of being its own like party and rave. Big shout out to my tech op, Peter John, controlling the board, keeping things moving. Much appreciated. And a big shout out to you, the Bridge Nation, for staying tuned. Remember, you can tune into the Bridge 99 FM anywhere on the 99 FM band. That's 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, 0.9. If you want, you can check out our live stream at thebridge99fm.com. or download our app in the Android Play Store or Apple App Store. Just search the Bridge 99 FM, all one word. Remember, you can also follow us on the socials, the Bridge 99 FM, and it's not just entertainment, it's a conversation. Shoot us a message on our WhatsApp line at 876-551-5782 or call in the studio line at 876-676-4996. Again, this has been Untengle with me, Jeffrey Azan, filling in for Mama Elise. Up next is Jamaicans for Justice, the JFJ, with Let's Talk Justice. Bridge Nation, it's been a pleasure. It's been a phenomenal time. Have a great day. And don't stop leveling up.